Good to have you with us at the Sydney International Aquatic Centre for the Telstra National Swimming Championships. Time for the men's 400 metres IM. Now, in the women's last night, what an upset that was. Are we going to see the same thing tonight?
I don't think so. Matthew Dunn, I spoke to him this afternoon before warm-up. He's feeling very confident. He wants to do his personal best time of 4:16. I think he's got it wrapped up.
OK, we'll see how he goes. Matthew is in lane 4. Here's the race.
Matthew Dunn in lane 4, the fastest qualifier. Trent Steed alongside him in 5. Philip Bryant in 6. Some interesting swimmers there, but everyone will be watching Matthew Dunn in 4 in the men's 400 metres individual medley.
Take your mark.
And they're away. So it's Connell at the top of the screen in 1, then Zane King, Simon Coombs, Matthew Dunn, Trent Steed, Philip Bryant, Shane Kennedy, Aaron Cleland. Let's tidy up some paperwork first of all, and that Olympic consideration time, 4:18.82. Dunn's the man who is likely to get round that mark. The C schedule, if he misses that mark, is 4:22.1.
Well, he had a beautiful start in the middle of the pool, Matt Dunn, as they come down to the first 50-metre turn. He turns first in a 27.45, so that's a good start for Matt. And the other boys aren't that far behind.
No, it's Steed on his right shoulder at the moment. In fact, Steed is swimming a very good butterfly leg. He's going down towards the 75-metre mark, and there's not too much between Dunn and Steed in these early stages. Steed just 18 years of age, and he's putting in a pretty bold effort there. It's Dunn and Steed. Third place, perhaps on the other side, it's Simon Coombs. And then Bryant back there in 4th. But through they go, and it's done in 58.35, and not much between those first two. In fact, just a quarter of a second.
That's without doubt Dunn's fastest 100-metre split in a medley, so it's looking very promising. But to have Trent Steed right there next to him, he's going to go right with Dunn. In fact, he may even be pulling away now.
Yes, he is pulling away at the start of this backstroke leg. They've got the breaststroke, then the freestyle to come. But what a performance this is in the early stages there by Trent Steed. Rob Waterhouse pointed out that the first 200 is considered to be the weak 200 for Matthew Dunn. Well, he went out pretty well in the butterfly, but Steed is really taking it up to him in the backstroke leg. In fact, Steed goes around in 1:31.71. Dunn just 1300ths of a second back there in 2nd place, and Simon Coombs in 3rd.
One of Dunn's strongest parts of his race is his turns, and we see on every single turn, that backstroke turn, he just pulled right away from Steed. Steed now getting ahead again towards the end of the backstroke.
We'll just call them through this halfway mark, and then we'll check on Laurie down there at the pool deck, but we'll watch them go through the halfway mark as they just about to turn into this very crucial breaststroke leg. And what a performance this has been in the backstroke by Steed. He goes around in front of Dunn, 2:05.28, Dunn 2:05.64, and still it's Coombs back there in 3rd place. But Trent Steed, what an effort so far, Laurie.
Effort. Matt Dunn is out turning him half a body length every turn, but this kid's out in front. He's making every post a winner, but we know that Matt Dunn's back end is very, very strong.
Well, they've got about 20 metres to swim before they get into the second half of this breaststroke leg. And look at the swimmer there in lane 3, the 3rd place swimmer, Simon Coombs, starting to make a mark. So it's Steed from Dunn, and there's Coombs up there on the, now it's going to be the left shoulder of Matthew Dunn as they go into this very crucial time. What a turn that was by Matthew Dunn.
Yes, he's really stamping his authority on the race now, but these two young blokes who are chasing him are doing a fantastic job. We always thought it was going to be daylight second, but Trent Steed is not going away, a la Emma Johnson, and this is going to be a really good race. If Trent Steed has got a good freestyle, he's going to challenge Matthew Dunn for the 400 metres individual medley.
Well, Steed's coming back at him now. Steed is challenging him again. As Laurie said, it's Dunn on the turns, but Steed is giving it everything. I reckon Steed is going to turn into this last freestyle leg a tick in front, nothing in it. Steed and Dunn. Officially, it's Dunn by 500ths of a second, and back there in 3rd place, it's Coombs. Dunn will sprint home, but he's got a big job on his hands.
This is a huge job, and Steed is known as a 1,500 metre swimmer, so he's going to stay with him. Whoever wins this race will break the Commonwealth record. I've got no doubt about that.
Well, the Commonwealth record, 4:16.90, held by Curtis Myden, the Canadian. Matthew Dunn remembers it so well. Curtis Myden in the Commonwealth Games. Dunn is starting to clear away. He's out by half a body length now as he goes into the last 50 metres. But it's back there in 2nd place, Steed, and Dunn's starting to clear away. Coombs back in 3rd. What sort of time can they get? Well, let's keep an eye on the clock. 3:48 as he turned into the last 50. He's got 25 metres to swim and he's clearing away. He's looking very strong, but he's had to fight hard for this victory. Matthew Dunn with 20 metres to swim goes away from Trent Steed. Simon Coombs battling on in 3rd place. Watch the clock though. 4:13, 4:14. Will it be a record? Not quite. 4:17.65. What a swim it was. Not quite the Commonwealth or Australian records, but a great swim by Matthew Dunn. And also the second place getter, Trent Steed. 4:20.4 for him. And Simon Coombs, another big improver to take the bronze. 4:23.47. But Matthew Dunn, what a swim.
What a swim indeed. There's Trent Steed. He's a little bit disappointed. A 4:20, unfortunately, doesn't get him under the Atlanta Olympic consideration time, so he's a little bit disappointed, even though he's dropped his best time by over 6 seconds. The master of the individual medley, Matthew Dunn, there in lane 4. Different tactics from Matthew Dunn in this race, so he only shook off Trent Steed with about 100 metres to go when he hit the freestyle leg. He level pegged with Trent Steed until then, but a great performance there. And this young bloke, a big future in front of him. He's looking at Sydney 2000, and hopefully he'll sneak into the 96 team.
Well, Dunn's pretty happy out there. Rob Waterhouse said during the call maybe the Commonwealth record of 4:16.90 held by Curtis Myden was under threat. Perhaps it was. He just missed out, but he doesn't seem too distraught about it. He really finished well, didn't he? That last freestyle 100, oh, he flew home, put distance between them.
Well, his last leg is probably one of his strongest legs. He was 4th in the 200 metres freestyle last night on Sports Australia's coverage of night 1 here at the Championships. And look at that, a full touch on the wall. A 4:17, his personal best time is 4:17.01, so he's very happy with that. He wanted a big swim. It would have been lovely to see him go the Commonwealth record and really set up some momentum heading into Atlanta. Trent Steed there, a 4:20. He'll be very happy with that time. The hand in the air from Matthew Dunn, the national title winner. His form looked fantastic. He usually goes out very hard, but he decided to sit back this time and get in the crowd, so to speak, of Coombs and Steed throughout the race. It's going to be like that at the Olympics. Maybe he's doing a little bit of a dress rehearsal for that, but all his connections will be very happy. He's trained down the Institute of Sport with Gennady Turetsky, and they'll be very happy with his last 100 metres, where he shook off all opposition to win the national 400 metres individual medley title.
Well, that world record of Tom Dolan's 4:12.30 is still a long way off, but geez, in good form. That's a good sign with the Olympics only 3 months away. Matthew Dunn taking out the 400 metres individual medley. He's still got the 200 to come. Good swim.
In the team, Matty.
Oh, yeah, hope so.
What about the time?
Well, I was a little bit disappointed, actually. I was really primed for a big swim tonight, and I don't really know what happened, but, I was really happy with the swim. I was really focused throughout, so it was really good.
You look very focused before the race. You'd think you got much left in you, much improvement for the Olympics.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just learning, so many great psychological tips from my coach, Gennady Turetsky, at the moment. It's, helped me out to no end. And, I think from that performance tonight, I can only improve from there.
I think so. What I liked about your swim is your backstroke's got so much better. So I think you're going to be right amongst the best.
That's right. I guess I felt, after the backstroke, I was a bit more tired than I usually am. Usually pretty rested after the backstroke.
Congratulations. We'll see you in Atlanta.
Thanks, Laurie.